earlier. Share your music. Share your love.
Ẹ káàárọ̀ gbogbo ilé o. Ẹ káàárọ̀. Ẹ káàsán. Ẹ káalẹ́ níbikíbi tẹ́ bá ti ń gbọ́ mi, tẹ́ ń wò mí. Ìmọ̀mọ́ yín náà ni o, BMA Family TV. Ká tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò, ẹ jẹ́ ká kọ́ júbà Lédùmarè tó dá wa. Àjúbà akọ́dá bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Àjúbà aṣẹ̀dá. Àjúbà Elédùmarè. Àjúbà ìyá wa. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àjúbà bàbá wa. Àjúbà yín àgbààgbà. Elédùmarè gbélé ayé lọ́wọ́. Ẹ jẹ́ kí bàbá ṣe o. Ojúmọ́ tó máa lónìí, ojúmọ́ ire ni ó jẹ́ fún wa o. Ojúmọ́ ayọ̀ ni kó jẹ́ fún wa o. Orí àdó mẹ́ta làdó ẹ̀yin ìyá wa. Pàtẹ Ọ̀làkẹ́ alágogo dẹ́. Wọ́n fọ́ ọ̀kan sọnù. Ẹlẹ́ẹ̀kẹta òun lè fi ṣọmọ aráyé lóore. Ẹ wá fi ṣe wá lóore o. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin olólùfẹ́ BMA Family TV, Elédùmarè yóò ṣe ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa lóore o. Oore owó, oore ọmọ, oore ẹ̀mí gígùn yóò wá fi ilé ẹnìkọ̀ọ̀kan wa ṣe ibùgbé o. Ètò tí mo fẹ́ ṣe láàárọ̀ yìí, ìfẹ́ pẹ́ lórí ètò lórí àná tí mo jáde tí mo wá ṣètò lánàá. Mo ní àwọn pírọ́bẹ̀mù kan lórí ètò tí mo ṣe lánàá. Inú mi ò dùn lórí ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá wa Emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye tí wọ́n sọ síta lánàá lórí self-determination. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ọkọ̀ tẹ̀mí rí padà BMA Family TV. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa, mo kí ń káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Obìnrin mo wọ̀ ní ẹ bá wa pé ètò ìkọlọ dáadáa. Àwọn tí ò tí ì gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá wa Emeritus ti sọ lórí self-determination, ẹ bá wa pín kọ́lọ̀ kàn wọ́n lá. Wọ́n wá gbọ́. Torí nígbà tá a sọ wípé bàbá wọn ò tan ogun àwọn káàrò òṣèré, inú kan wọn bá wa lò, kò sí ẹ̀tàn nú wọn lórí self-determination yìí o. Bàbá dó digbí lórí ẹ̀ ní. Bàbá dó digbí lórí self-determination yìí. Wọn ò bá àwọn ọmọ káàrò òjíire, wọn ò bá wa lo èméjì. Wọ́n wá bẹ̀yìn mọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ yìí ni. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń tutukutu, tẹ́ ń sọ̀rọ̀ bàjẹ́ lórí bàbá wa Emeritus, ẹ súnmọ́ bí tẹ́ wá gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá sọ lórí self-determination. Torí nígbà tá a gbọ́ wípé àwọn newspaper kan tó ń pè ní champion àbí kí láà pè ní newspaper yẹn, tí wọ́n kọ sínú ẹ̀ wípé bàbá sọ pé àwọn ṣe Yoruba Nation mọ́. Èmi náà wà lára àwọn tó jáde tó pariwo pé irọ́ ni wọ́n ń pa. Wọ́n fẹ́ bà bàbá ló kọjá ni. Fún gbẹ̀dẹ́ nífẹ̀ẹ́ bàbá. Wọ́n fẹ́ kẹ́ nífẹ̀ẹ́ bàbá mọ́. Òun ni wọ́n fi gbé ìròyìn yẹn jáde àwa jáde àtọ́pẹ́ láyé bàbá ò lè ṣe nǹkan bẹ́ẹ̀ bàbá táwa mọ̀ o wọn ò lè sọ pé àwọn ò ṣe Yorùbá Nation mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọn ò lè sọ pé àwọn ò ṣe self-determination mọ́ torí a mọ wíyàn tí wọ́n jẹ́ àwa súnmọ́ wọn dáadáa a mọ wíyàn tí wọ́n jẹ́. àwọn ọmọ ìpín bàbá Akíntóyè táwa nígbàgbọ́ nínú wọn o tá à ń tẹ̀lé wọn wọn ò bá kan sọ pé àwọn ò ṣe self-determination mọ́ inú wa wá dùn lánàá nígbà tí bàbá ṣe interview lórí self-determination náà ni inú àwa tá a defend bàbá tá a dó tẹ̀ pẹ̀lú bàbá tá a sọ pé ṣe bàbá ò sọ pé àwọn ò ṣe Yorùbá Nation mọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n sọ pé àwọn ò ṣe self-determination mọ́ àwọn àgbàtà gbọ́ ọ̀nà lánàá ìdùnnú wa ó ṣubú láyọ̀ àwọn tí wọ́n ń pa wọ́n mú bàbá Akíntóyè ìbànújẹ́ lọ́wọ́ wọlé tó àwọn àwádà tó tán pé bàbá àwọn sì ní leader wa àwọn ní àmọ̀ àṣe self-determination leader lẹ́yìn wọn kò sẹ́lòmíì àti bàbá wa Sunday Adeyemo kí n tó play ohun tí bàbá ṣe síta ẹ kọ́ bá mi pé ètò kọlọ̀ dáadáa ẹ bá ń tẹ́lẹ̀ bá ń lẹ like gbogbo ẹ̀dẹ́ ẹ̀dá àpò mọ́ wa lórí ètò gbogbo ẹ̀dẹ́ ẹ̀dá àpò mọ́ wa lórí ètò ẹ bá ń tẹ like ẹ bá ń tẹ love ọgbẹ̀ yín ni tó yà fẹ́ pẹ́ lórí ètò ẹ bá ti play ohun bàbá tán àgbà kámẹ́rà ni torí àtàlẹ́rẹ́ kì í ti ṣe but mo try láti ṣe lánàá mi network àti microphone ó disturb mi díẹ̀ mo dìbò lọ ṣe òun ló bá tí mo ti fi jáde láàárọ̀ yìí dìbò lọ ṣe òun ló fà tí mo ti fi jáde láàárọ̀ yìí torí ọ̀rọ̀ kí bẹ́ẹ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ó kí bẹ́ẹ̀ nǹkan tẹ́ fi mọ̀ pé a ní ẹ̀tọ́ fún self-determination nìyẹn gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń bẹ̀rù láti jà fún self-determination tẹ́ bá gbọ́wọ́ tí bàbá sọ tẹ́ bá gbọ́wọ́ wọn mo lérò pé ẹni bẹ̀rù mọ́ ọkàn yóò balẹ̀ láti jà fún self-determination ọkàn yóò balẹ̀ láti rí ni láti jà fún self-determination nígbà tí bàbá 19 years tí wọn bẹ̀rù láti jà fún self-determination kí ni wọ́n ń ṣe àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tá a ti ní agbára kí ló ṣe wá kí ni ń bà wá lẹ́rù ẹ mẹ́rin ká ti gbógun lóró mo fẹ́ kí a farabalẹ̀ ká gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá sọ ẹ bá ń wá ibì kan fìdílé kájọ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ kí bẹ̀ gan ni o ẹ sì mọ́ gbàgbé láti bá mi láàkè tó yìí ẹ bá ń tẹ like ẹ bá ń tẹ love gbogbo ẹ tẹ bá lè darapọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí Ìbíyẹmí Family TV. tẹ́ ẹ bá ń gbọ́ mi tẹ́ ẹ ń gbóhùn mi dáadáa ẹ bá ń kọ sábẹ́ comment tẹ́ ẹ bá gbọ́ náà ni ẹ kọ sábẹ́ comment tó ìfẹ́ jẹ́ kí nǹkan tó ṣẹlẹ̀ lánàá ó ṣẹlẹ̀ láàárọ̀ yìí torí tí ìbá wa ṣe ètò yìí ọkàn mi ò ní balẹ̀ ẹni mi ò ní dùn torí ìdùnnú wa ó ṣubú láyọ̀ ni ó ṣubú láyọ̀ ni o àníṣe ẹ lè gbé bàbá Akíntóyè ṣubú gbogbo ẹ̀yin ọ̀tá bàbá wa Akíntóyè ẹ̀sìn mi àgbàjá bàbá wa Akíntóyè ní Ọlọ́run Ìdùmarè yàn láti wá gba ìran káà òjìrè kó lóko ẹrú kí mo wí fi bàbá wa emeritus Akíntóyè Olódùmarè yàn láti wá ṣe kí láti wá gba gbogbo àwọn Yorùbá kó lóko ẹ̀wù wà Nàìjíríà táwa. Ẹ ká lo èméjì pẹ̀lú bàbá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká fi ọkàn kan ká fi dúró ti bàbá, ká fi ọwọ́ sowọ́ pẹ̀lú wọn, ká lè bá jàjà ìlájàyè. Ká lè bá ṣe kí ni? Ká lè bá jàjà ìlájàyè. Mo sì nígbàgbọ́ wípé lágbára Elédùmarè àjàyè lájàjàyè. Kí tó pè ohun bàbá ẹni kọ́kọ́ sàkà fún bàbá wa emeritus Professor Banji Akintoye. Bàbá ẹ̀mí yóò gùn fún wa, ẹ pẹ́ fún wa, àníwá ìtì báyìí ẹ kó wa jẹ̀pẹ́. Ẹ̀mí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ́ọ̀gù yìí nílẹ̀ ló kó wa délé lérí. Ní ìgbàkígbà tí Elédùmarè bá fi àṣẹ sí i, tábà na àṣẹ Yorùbá Nation sókè, bàbá àníwá ìtì bẹ́ẹ̀ àjọ na àṣẹ Yorùbá Nation sókè ní lágbára Elédùmarè. Bákan náà mo kí bàbá mi Sunday Adeyemo ọmọ Adéyẹmọ Igboho ṣá ó bàbá dámì, ẹ̀mí yóò gùn fún wa, ẹ pẹ́ fún wa, àníwá ìtì báyìí. Ìrìn àjò Yorùbá Nation tẹ́ gbé dání àjàyè lẹ́jà. Ẹ̀mí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ́ọ̀gù yìí náà ló kó wa délé lérí. Mo wá gbàdúrà fún yín lágbára Elédùmarè. Ní ìgbàkígbà tábà na àṣà Yorùbá Nation sókè, bàbá àníwá ìtì bẹ́ẹ̀. A ṣe kí ni? Àníwá ìtì níbẹ̀ àjọ na àṣà Yorùbá Nation sókè ni. Ṣé ti gbọ́?
It was very large.
Mo sọ kí tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò wípé ìrìn pẹ́ lórí ètò pàápàá kí kàn wá play ohun bàbá síta gbogbo àwọn ọmọ káàrọ̀ òjìire àti gbogbo àwọn olólùfẹ́ bàbá Akintoye tá a dúró tán tá a nígbàgbọ́ nínú wọn láti wá gbọ́wọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ nípa self-determination àti ọ̀rọ̀ tí wọ́n sọ nípa àwọn onítìrọ̀, àwọn tó ń pè jàgídíjàgan làwọn fẹ́ fi gbàlú, jàgídíjàgan làwọn fẹ́ fi gba ìlú. Torí bàbá Akintoye wọn ò fi ìgbà kan sọ pé Yorùbá là self-determination táwọn ń jà fún yìí o, ìbọn àti àdá làwọn fi gbà fún gbogbo àwọn káàrọ̀ òjìire. Wọn ò fi ìgbà kan sọ bẹ́ẹ̀. Peaceful náà ni wọ́n sọ. Ariwo pé a kò lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà o, a máa fẹ́ kò lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà pẹ̀lú ìrọwọ́ ìrọsẹ̀. A fẹ́ fi agídí kò lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà. Àmọ́ àwọn onítìrọ̀ ti wọn ogun kówókówó làwọn ń pariwo. Òun la fi sọ pé wọn ò sí lára wa. Ẹni tí ò bá ti tẹ̀lé bàbá Akintoye, tí ó tẹ̀lé ìlànà bàbá Akintoye lákalẹ̀, ìwé èèyàn bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn ò wá láàrin wa. After all, gbogbo ayé ti mọ̀ wípé onítìrọ̀ òmìnira 2022 ló ń gbé dání. Bàbá wa Banji Akintoye self-determination òun làwọn gbé dání. Ìyàtọ̀ ti wà ń bẹ́ ọ̀rẹ́ dì. Ẹ mọ̀ dàpọ̀, ẹ mọ̀ ṣe kí ni? Ẹ mọ̀ ṣe ká dàpọ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá wa Sunday Adeyemo gbogbo ayé mọ̀ pé ariwo Yorùbá Nation ni wọ́n ń pa. Nígbà tá a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sọ́ọ̀gù yìí, tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ rally láti state lọ state, láti state lọ state, mo lérò pé gbogbo ẹ̀yọ́ ọmọ káàrọ̀ òjìire kò síbi tẹ́ ti gbọ́ pé àtàkì ọlọ́pàá rí, àbí àtàkì sọ́jà, àbí àbá nǹkan àwọn èèyàn jẹ́. Mo lérò pé kò síbi tẹ́ ti gbọ́ rí. Irú ìlànà tí bàbá Akintoye là kalẹ̀ fáwọn ènìyàn, ọ̀rọ̀ lẹ́yìn bàbá Akintoye ká máa tọ̀, òun là ń tọ̀ yẹn. Fún di èyí, gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ ń bẹ̀rù láti jà fún self-determination, ẹ má bẹ̀rù, ẹ dìde. ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ support bàbá wa Akintoye, ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbáwùú tì wọ́n kí a lè bá débi tá à ń lọ. Ṣé ti gbọ́? Ẹ má jẹ́ kí n gbógun lọ lówó. Ẹ jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá sọ. Ẹ bá mi like ètò iṣẹ́ mi ò tí ò wọ yín gbogbo ẹni tẹ́ da ọkọ̀ mọ́ wa lórí ètò. Ẹ bá mi like, ẹ bá mi love ẹ. Ẹ bá mi like, ẹ bá mi love ẹ. Ọ̀yá ẹ ń bá wa ká lọ. Ẹ ṣé gan ni.
By Mrs. Modupe Onitiri Abiola tried to take over the government secretariat in Ibadan, and they were overpowered by state authorities. Mrs. Modupe Onitiri Abiola having made a statement declaring the Democratic Republic of Nigeria, of Yoruba land, of Odua, as a sovereign nation. You reacted. You said, you were not aware of it and that these were careless people. Chief Sunday Igboho also reacted and said that these were just a bunch of insane people trying to do what they were not sent to do. However, Prof, I recall that you led the struggle for self-determination of the Yorubas, and now you condemn the splinter group called Ominira Yoruba. What is the difference? Bigger ideological movement that you lead, and the one led by Mrs. Modupe Onitiri Abiola, will it just? Isn't the idea the same?
Well,
ẹ má bínú sà, ẹ má bínú máa o. Ìfẹ́ kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀ láti kó ṣẹlẹ̀ o. Ẹ dákun ẹ fún mi ní ìṣẹ́jú díẹ̀. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ẹ káwọ́ pa àṣọwé ètò, ẹ má bínú o. Torí tí n bá ṣe báyìí, ìfẹ́ kí nǹkan ṣẹlẹ̀ lánàá ló ṣẹlẹ̀. Ẹ yá ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ máa gbọ́ lọ. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o. Ẹ bá aláàkè ètò iṣẹ́, ẹ bá alóòfẹ́ kọ́ lọ dáadáa. Káwọn ọ̀tá, àwọn tí bínú bàbá Akintoye, kí wọ́n gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá sọ nípa self-determination, kó lè bá mọ̀ pé kò sí nǹkan tí ọjọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ nípa ẹ̀kọ́ tó ń pa bàbá pé bàbá tó pa àwọn ṣe Yoruba Nation wọn. Àwọn ò ṣe self-determination mọ́. Ṣé ti gbọ́?
well, they are not the same. We started a movement for the liberation of the Yoruba Nation from Nigeria under existing laws of the international community. People don't seem to recognize that. There is a law, the United Nations Declaration of the Rights of Indigenous People. Permits every nation that wants to separate from the country that they belong to now to do so. But you have to do it peacefully. That's the provision. You cannot say because you want self-determination for your nation out of a country, you want to destabilize the country, you want to break down the peace of the country, you want to attack the laws of the country. No, that's not allowed. The movement that I lead is an intellectually sophisticated movement, disciplined, and no member, not a single person in the entire movement, and we are in the millions all over the world. We are in the millions. Not a single one of us will do what Mrs. Abiola did, what Onitiri did. Not a single one of us. She and her people were entirely on their own. They are not part of us, and we are not part of them in any way. Our struggle for self-determination has been pursued peacefully. We started in 2019, and this is 2024. That's roughly 5 years now, slightly under 5 years, and we have no record of violence. In the year 2021, in the middle of 2021, we launched a number of rallies, public rallies. The first one was in Ibadan, and it was very large. About 1.2 million people were present in that rally. And we thought, oh, we had done well. But then we moved to Abeokuta, and people in Abeokuta were much larger in number than the ones in Ibadan. And we went to Shogo, and from there went to Akure, and went to Ado-Ekiti. In Ado-Ekiti, the crowd was the largest ever. About 3.1 million people clogged the streets of Ado-Ekiti for the whole day. And in all of these mammoth rallies, nobody misbehaved. Nobody behaved in an unruly or unlawful way. The police didn't have to caution anybody. The police did not arrest anybody. Nobody was wounded in any way. It was a happy rally. Of young people, educated young people clamoring for their own country separate from Nigeria. That's entirely lawful.
Well, Prof, there is a report
entirely under the law.
Prof, there is a report in the paper.
And so nobody was arrested. And nobody can be arrested in such circumstances.
Well, Prof, there's a story in the papers today.
That's who we are.
Well, Prof, there's a story in the papers today saying that you, as a leader of the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, you have now written to President Bola Tinubu to say that Yorubas would like to break away from Nigeria through negotiations. Do you think that President Tinubu will allow his government to sit at a table with some Yoruba people saying they want to break away from Nigeria, when Section 2 of the Constitution says that Nigeria is indissoluble and indivisible?
That's what the Constitution of Nigeria says. But the law of Nigeria also, part of the law of Nigeria says that self-determination is a legitimate right. Well, because when the United Nations passed the declaration, Nigeria was a signatory to it. Nigeria brought the law, that declaration, to the National Assembly. The National Assembly approved it, and the President of Nigeria signed it. That made it part of the law of Nigeria. The same thing with the Africa Charter of human and people's rights.
But Prof, sir,
the President of Nigeria brought it to Nigeria, took it to the National Assembly. The National Assembly approved of it. Then the President signed it. That makes it a part of the law of Nigeria. And courts in Nigeria have made the statement that fighting for self-determination is not unlawful in Nigeria. So we are not doing anything unlawful.
But sir,
we have no reason to want to stop it.
But sir, correct me if I'm wrong. The same Nigerian constitution says that even when we sign international covenants and conventions, it becomes law in Nigeria when it is domesticated. Now, you are an Awoist. You were part of the Awo movement and all of that. Awo, the late sage, wanted self-determination in the constitution, 1916, 1963. He never succeeded. And the Nigerian constitution does not allow anybody to say they want to break away from any part of Nigeria. So I don't know. I mean, you are the teacher of history.
The laws of Nigeria allows individual Nigerians or groups of Nigerians to advocate for self-determination for their people. That cannot be contradicted. The laws of Nigeria allows peoples in Nigeria to advocate for the self-determination of their people.
Well, I'm not saying,
that's the law.
Well, but
that's why when we went on rallies and so on, nobody could arrest any one of those boys and girls.
Well, but
because they were acting entirely lawfully.
Okay, Prof.
No, listen, there is in this kind of situation after the folly and the criminal folly by Onitiri and the others, there is a No, there is a natural reaction. And people are now saying that Nigeria are now saying things that are really not true about Nigeria. The laws of Nigeria allow Nigerians to fight for the self-determination of their people peacefully.
Well, I'll try and check.
And Yoruba people who are fighting peacefully for the self-determination of the Yoruba Nation from Nigeria are doing it absolutely lawfully.
Do you have any expectation that President Tinubu will sit down and negotiate for the Yorubas to leave Nigeria when he is himself a Yoruba man? That is the business of the president. He will do what he thinks is good for the country. We will do what we think is good for our own nation from Nigeria. And nobody is disputing the fact that we Yoruba are being destroyed in Nigeria. Last night, only this last night, crowds of young people called me from somewhere in Oyo State that Fulani people had invaded their village and had scattered the whole place. We cannot continue to live like that. If anybody thinks that a people like the Yoruba people will continue to live like that, you are deceiving yourself. You may pander to the constitution. You may pander to the authorities of the land, but you cannot twist the truth out of existence. That's the thing. You cannot say you do not know that the Yoruba people are under pressure in Nigeria. You cannot say that Yoruba people are not being killed and killed in Nigeria. You cannot say that that a group of young men did an estimation of how many Yoruba people have been killed. They think it's up to about 29,000. You can't put it that way. So why are some people behaving as if you're pandering to the government and pandering to the government, to the authorities? Negates the rights of other people. It doesn't. Well, no matter how much you pander, you can tell me, oh, is President Tinubu going to sit with us and so on? It's his duty to sit with us. Yes. That's his duty. Well, the law says so. Well, we write a letter to the president. It is his duty to answer us and he can say no. What you are asking for, I won't grant it. But he has no right to say. He has no duty to tell us, I will not answer your letter. But sir, he has a duty to answer our letter. You raised the same issues under the Buhari administration. President Buhari did not just ignore. Yes. He went after Sunday Igboho, and he showed that his government would not allow any kind of challenge from anybody, whether Yoruba or Igbo. Why would President Tinubu listen to you, even when you said you were not interested in the election?
The president can say that as much as they like, but the president cannot unilaterally change the law of the land. That's the truth. The president, it is the duty of the president to say, oh, this country, I will preserve its unity. That's okay. That's nothing wrong with that. But that does not negate the lawful right of the people of Yoruba land or whatever part of Nigeria to seek for their self-determination.
But Prof, there seems to be some confusion among the Yoruba elites.
We don't quarrel with the president for saying nobody should want to break up Nigeria. So it's fine. That's what the president is supposed to be saying. But we who know what is happening to our people, who think that the answer is to get out of Nigeria, yes, we have a right to put it to the president and to put it to the world. That's all.
But there seems to be some confusion in Yoruba land. I see that maybe perhaps the generality of the people do not feel as passionate about self-determination. And secondly, there is all kinds of positions. Afenifere is restructuring. You are talking about self-determination.
You don't know this. You don't know the nature of the Yoruba society. You don't. Most of the young people, and they are the majority in Yoruba land, want the self-determination of their Yoruba nation.
Exactly.
That's the truth of the matter. That's what is keeping the movement going. And they are also doing so in the diaspora.
Yes, Baba. Èmi yóò kún fún wa. Nǹkan tá a fẹ́ gan nìyẹn. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ káàrọ̀ oòjíire 60 million people la fẹ́ self-determination. Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ káàrọ̀ oòjíire 60 million people ni mo sọ o. Torí ethnic group ni wá nílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà. Kódà gan àwọn ọmọ káàrọ̀ oòjíire a ti wà before Nàìjíríà. Elédùmarè ó ti dá wa sílẹ̀ àwọn bàbá ńlá wa tí Nàìjíríà ò tó dé. Ọjọ́ wo ni wọ́n kéré Nàìjíríà? Kí ló wá dé? Ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá kan tẹ́ ń bẹ̀rù láti jà fún self-determination. Kí ló tẹ́ ń bẹ̀rù? Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rù. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rù. Self-determination tá à ń sọ yìí, ẹ̀tọ́ gbogbo wa ni. Gbogbo wa sì ni a ní àṣẹ láti jà fún. Ẹ má jẹ́ ká dáadáa bàbá Akintoye nìkan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ẹ má jẹ́ ká dáadáa Chief Sunday Adeyemo nìkan. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni, ẹ má jẹ́ ká dáadáa gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n dúró tán fún ìran Yorùbá. Gbogbo àwọn tó kù náà, ẹ jẹ́ ká fi ìmọ̀ ṣọ̀kan pẹ̀lú wọn. Ká jọ panupọ̀. Ká lè bá ìdí ibi tá à ń lọ. Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́? Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ tí bàbá sọ, ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbọ́ lọ. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí mo kí gbogbo akábọ̀ sórí ètò BMI Family TV. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti bá mi like ètò náà o. Ẹ sì má gbàgbé láti bá mi love ẹ̀. Ẹ bá mi pín kó lọ dáadáa. Ṣé ẹ ti gbọ́? Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Mo wá fi àdùkò yìí, mo tún fi tọrọ lọ́wọ́ yín, mo fi tọrọ lọ́wọ́ yín pé ẹ dákun. Lórí YouTube mi, BMI Family TV ní YouTube, ẹ dákun. Ẹ má gbàgbé láti lọ bá mi subscribe síbẹ̀. Gbogbo ẹ̀yin fans mi pátápátá tẹ́ ẹ nífẹ̀ẹ́ BMI Family TV. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ mi, Elédùmarè yóò nífẹ̀ẹ́ yín náà jù bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe nífẹ̀ẹ́ mi lọ. Ẹ ṣé gan ni. Ẹ jẹ́ ká máa gbọ́ bàbá lọ.
Yoruba young men and women all over the world want their own country, separate from Nigeria. You cannot deny that. No matter how much you want to pander to the government, you cannot deny that. But that's the truth.
But anyway,
the important thing, however, and I'm surprised that you are not talking about that, is that the Yoruba people who are fighting for self-determination are telling the world and telling themselves that they will do it only peacefully. We are Yoruba. We know our status in the world. We know our status in the black world. We do not want to destroy the peace of Nigeria, and we do not want to bring difficulty into the lives of any other group in Nigeria. But we want to get out of Nigeria. That's it.
Well, Prof, you were a strong member.
And you're not talking about that. You are asking me questions. You are asking me questions as if what Onitiri did has the support of the majority of Yoruba people who want self-determination. It is not true.
Well, Prof,
she has a small.
Bàbá mi Sunday Adebanji mo kí káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Bàbá mi Robert Ìyábọ̀tẹ̀ mo kí káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ẹ ṣé gan ni o.
minority of a section that is ready to do illegalities.
Legality.
A year ago, they went and attacked a radio station in Ibadan, and so on. Now this year, they are attacking the entire government of Ibadan, and so on. No, we have never sent anybody to go and do that, and we do not support it or encourage it.
Prof.
And we think it is criminal.
Prof.
And so if they get punished for their criminality, we have no objection to that.
Yes.
Prof, you were a strong member.
You cannot, because of them, generalize opposition to self-determination. You cannot.
Well, Prof, you were a strong member of the Unity Party of Nigeria, also a very strong member of Afenifere. Afenifere is talking about restructuring. You are now talking about self-determination. What is the difference, in these two?
Our fathers in Afenifere are doing the right thing, talking about restructuring, so that we can go back and live our own life the way we used to live it prosperously. They're doing the right thing. There is nothing wrong with that. But we, another group of people, larger in number than they, are now saying, no, self-determination is the answer, not restructuring. Why? Because when you restructure, you are still in Nigeria. And the people who are coming and disrupting your life and destroying your farms and killing your women and raping your mothers and daughters and so on are still Nigerians. They still have a right to come to Nigeria. The only final solution to that is to separate, so that you have a separate Yoruba country where we can make our own laws and so on, to which we admit only people we want to admit. So nobody can claim that they have a right to come to our land. They don't have such a. But as long as we are in Nigeria, no matter what restructuring is done, they still have the right to come to our land and do the things that we're doing. Nobody is talking about the fact that most Yoruba farmers have been driven from their farms. I am not hearing that. I'm hearing only about government. I'm not hearing about people. You are not talking about the fact that most Yoruba farmers have been driven from their farms, and that the Yoruba nation is in danger of famine upon famine upon famine for years and years to come. You are not talking of the fact that the Fulani declared war on Nigeria on the 24th of January and 26th of January and said that Tinubu is not our president. We are going to Soro. We will take over the seat of government there, and we will use this place to organize the conquest of the rest of Nigeria. You're not talking about that. You are not talking of people who said no Fulani man must be arrested for the bomb in Ibadan. If you do, you will have bombs in every town in Yoruba in Nigeria. Nobody's talking about that. Nobody's talking about the sheer insult of living in a country where some people are treating the government like that. They are talking about Onitiri and so on. Why do our...
Well, Prof, let me ask you this. Self-determination...
You are entitled to your opinion. You are entitled to your opinion, but what I'm saying is that your opinion rigorously avoids the truth. Rigorously.
But Prof,
avoids the truth.
Nigeria, as Onigo Chiche told us in his research on ethnic nationalities in Nigeria, has over 300 ethnic nationalities. Will you recommend self-determination to all the other ethnic nationalities in Nigeria? For all these nationalities to be
those who want it don't ask me a general question. I am asking for self-determination for a nation, the Yoruba nation. There are about 60 million people in Nigeria, and their territory is large enough to be a large country. So that's what I'm talking about. Any other nationality in Nigeria that wants self-determination is free to ask for it. I cannot come and ask for self-determination for nations that are not mine.
Yes.
No.
Well, Prof, as we have this, we're having this conversation. We are in Cotonou, Republic of Benin. Not too long ago, after Chief Sunday Igboho returned to Nigeria, one of your spokespersons, Mr. Gani Alagbaka, I think, said that Professor Akintoye will also be coming home very soon. How soon, Prof?
Yes, I'm coming home. It's my prerogative in life to decide how I move. Yeah.
Certainly.
That's my right.
But are you very...
Or would you want, because of your support for Nigeria, also limit my right to move as I like?
But Prof, are you very optimistic that one day this vision of self-determination for the people of Yoruba land will come to pass?
Yes.
It will come to pass.
Yes.
Well,
it will come to pass. Nobody can stop it.
Nobody.
Well, on that note, I would like to thank you very much.
And we are not hostile to any government. We were not hostile to Buhari. So why should we be hostile to our own man who is president? It's our boy. It's our son. It's our brother. So we cannot be hostile to him. We were not hostile to Buhari. We sent a message to Buhari. Buhari told his people that election was coming. He didn't have time to answer us. And so they didn't answer us. All right. But elections are not coming now. And we want the president of Nigeria to discuss with us. President Buhari stood up in the United Nations General Assembly in 2016 and 2017 and said, self-determination is the legitimate right, the inalienable right of every nation in the world. He said that. He even said at some point, it is immoral for anybody to forcefully deny self-determination to any people. So people ask him, what about the people, the indigenous people of Biafra who are asking for their nation? He said, if the people who are asking for Biafra would do it peacefully through a peaceful organization, then the Nigerian state will have no other option than to discuss with them, to negotiate with them. Oh, yeah. People don't know these things, or people refuse to know these things because they want to appear to be supporting the government.
Bàbá mi Àfọ̀njá TV, mo kí káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Àlùkà, mo kí káàbọ̀ sí gan ni.
This is not a question of supporting or we in the Yoruba Self-Determination Movement, we are not opposed to Nigeria, to Nigerian government. We don't oppose our people who are ruling us, no. But we think the time has come when a nation like the Yoruba must take its freedom and create its own kind of country where our people can live the way we used to live under Chief Obafemi Awolowo. That's what our people want. They don't, we don't hate anybody. We are not. Even the Fulani who are coming and killing us, it's very difficult to get Yoruba people to hate them. You cannot preach hatred of another nation to Yoruba people. You cannot. It doesn't happen. It is not in their blood. So they don't hate the Fulani, they don't hate the Igbo, they don't hate outside, they don't hate anybody. They just want to get out and go and live their own life the way they know how to live it. That's all.
Well, on that note, I would like to thank you very much, Professor Banji Akintoye.
Already we had Baba why? Baba 90 years. Ninja for self-determination here. Kí ló wá ṣàwọ̀ ọ̀dọ́? Tágbà tí wà lọ́wọ́ wa. Tá lè support movement wọn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká support movement bàbá gbé dání. Ẹ mọ̀ yẹ ká takò. Bàbá ọjà fúnra wọn nìkan gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá pátá 60 million people ní bàbá ń jà fún. 60 million people ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà káàkiri àbáláyé tó ìwọ̀n bàbá fi ń jà fún self-determination tó ìgbà yìí tá à ń gbé lórílẹ̀ Nàìjíríà kò dùn mọ́ wa nínú. Bó láwọn gbé láwọn nílé àwọn bàbá ńlá wa táwọn kan wà wá láti ibì kan tó àmọ́ dàrá láàmú wọ́n mọ̀ jí wa gbé wọ́n máa jí wa gbé táwọn tó mọ̀ béèrè owó tútù ìdàgbé nǹkan táwọn ò lè ṣe táwọn ọmọ káàró jíire nǹkan táwọn lè dánwò ní ilẹ̀ wọn lọ́hùn àwọn á ṣe fún alẹ́ wa ẹ wá ní ká dákẹ́ kólíkálukọ́ mọ̀ lọ́nlọ́ ẹ̀ ẹni ká dákẹ́ ẹ̀yin náà wò kó tó ṣe lánàá àwọn ajínigbé látúgbọ́ kó wọ́n lọ fún tó jí àwọn pásítọ̀ gbé wọ́n jí pásítọ̀ gbé àtàwọn ọmọ ìjọ 15 nọ́mbà àwọn ọmọ ìjọ 14 pásítọ̀ ọjọ́ 15 tí wọ́n jí gbé lọ ibi tó wà ní ìṣẹ́ ẹ̀dá kan mọ̀ lọ́yọ̀ state tún nìkan ìṣẹ̀lẹ̀ o Ọ̀yọ́ state tó ti ṣẹlẹ̀ o ṣé bá ti mọ bá lọ ní ọmọ Yorùbá gbogbo àwọn ọ̀dọ́ tá a dìjẹ́ ọ̀dọ́ tá a fẹ́ kí a kú sóko parun wá Nàìjíríà ẹ jẹ́ ká dìde ẹ má jẹ́ ká bẹ̀rù kò sí bẹ̀rù náà ọ̀rọ̀ wa mo lè wò pátá àti ìfẹ́dá wa gbọ́ ọ̀tí bàbá sọ lórí self-determination orí ààrẹ tí mo ti sọ o ààrẹ tí ìbíbọ̀ ààrẹ tí ìbí wà Nàìjíríà sanẹ̀ ní o ni wọ́n ti sọ ni wọ́n ti ṣe interview yẹn o mo lẹ́bi mọ̀ pé self-determination ẹ̀tọ́ gbogbo ìṣínà fìpò ni gbogbo àwọn náírà tó wà ní Nàìjíríà pàtàkì ló ní ẹ̀tọ́ fún self-determination kì í ṣe àwa nìkan àmọ́ àwa fẹ́ báyìí àwa alájọpọ̀ afẹ́ kò lábẹ́ Nàìjíríà torí ibi tá a bá ń lọ tó bá gbé wa tá a bá padà kò séwọ̀n bẹ́ẹ̀ òun làbí ń pe gbogbo ẹ̀yin àgbààgbà tẹ́ ẹ̀ support movement yìí tó jẹ́ pé wá Nàìjíríà lẹ́ ń support àìwọ́ Nàìjíríà lẹ́ ń pariwo wá Nàìjíríà ló ṣe nǹkan fún wa o ìbá dákẹ́ ronú dáadáa kẹ́ ronú jinlẹ̀ kẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá kẹ́ wá ká lọ support movement self-determination yìí kí a jọ fi ìmọ̀ wa ká jọ fi ṣe ọ̀kan ká jọ fi ìmọ̀ wa ká jọ ṣe kí ni ká jọ fi ṣe ọ̀kan láti rí pé a kò ló kọ ẹrú wá Nàìjíríà tá a wà ṣe ti gbọ́ ètò náà kò ní jù báyìí lọ mo dúpẹ́ gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ ètò mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín o ojú tẹ́ fi ń wò wá ojú náà ò ní fọ́ o bẹ́ẹ̀ sì ni etí tẹ́ fi ń gbọ́ wa etí náà ò ní di ọwọ́ tẹ́ fi bá wa tẹ like tẹ́ bá wa tẹ love ẹ mọ̀ ní fi ọwọ́ náà gbọ́ ọmọ ṣe o ọwọ́ tẹ́ fi ra dátà tẹ́ fi ń wo gbogbo àwa tá à ń jà fún òmìnira ilẹ̀ káàró òjíire tá à ń jà fún self-determination tá a dúró tán bàbá Akíntóyè àti bàbá Sunday Igboho àwọn èèmọ̀ ní kànsàlẹ̀ àpò àbùdí tolókun bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbùdí tọlọ́sà àkóṣàṣà múra kì í gbẹ àgbóyò ní gbẹsowó lágbára lẹ́dùnmarè gbogbo igi délẹ̀gbẹ̀ bá fọwọ́ bàbá yìí dídún ní dún gbogbo ọwọ́ tẹ ẹ bá fi iṣẹ́ ṣe yóò mọ̀ dún fún yín ni láti ṣe Èdùmàrè ṣe ti gbọ́ ètò náà kò ní jù báyìí lọ tọkọ tẹ mo yí padà Ìbíyẹmí Ọláìtàn tí kò yẹ mọ̀ sí Ìbíyẹmí Family TV ló ń kí gbogbo yín ọ̀gá mi Yorùbá Nation Àfọ̀njá TV mo kí káàbọ̀ sórí ètò ẹ ṣé gan ni ilẹ̀ òdó gbogbo wa o lágbára Elédùmarè àjàyí lájàjàyí àjọ délẹ̀ lérí ni ẹ ṣé gan ni ó dìgbà kan náà.